Hello and welcome. I am Clancy from MMOplay.com, and this is Tom Clancy's Endwar Online or something like that. I don't. Okay, so this is like an RTS, but it kind of operates on 3 lanes. It's kind of weird, but interesting. I initially actually really disliked it. This is a recording I did a little while ago, and in this part I really disliked it. And I'm going to explain why. So it starts off really slow. This is incredibly slow. When I want to play an RTS, I want it to be fast and snappy, and I want to be, building stuff and just like overwhelming my enemy with, units. So for the first 5 minutes, like in general of this game, you have to go through this little, like, the story thing, which isn't very interesting. It's something to do with, like, oh no, the world is under attack or something. And you were the general of the last base of freedom, or something stupid like that. You would think that with the Tom Clancy name, you'd have a bit more good writing. You would have a bit more good writing. That is exactly how it should be described. Anyway, so the story it's pretty much worthless. I wouldn't even bother. Its actual presentation was quite nice though. I rather liked it. It had nice little like motion graphics and stuff like that. But anyway, back to this. So for the first 10 minutes of this actual in-game play, it's just teaching you the rock paper scissors mechanic. Which, I mean, come on, do we really need to spend this much time just kind of getting into it? And the whole thing is so damn slow. I don't know if it's just my PC or if it's because it's browser based. You have the option to install it if you like, but why would you do that? Why would you pollute your computer with this? Oh, man. Okay, so you drop in your units along the 3 lanes. Other games have done this, like 3-lane system, or not necessarily 3-lane, but a lane system where you send out a unit and there's like that rock, paper, scissors aspect to it. But they do it so much better. Like, I don't understand why they decided they wanted to go with this realistic military theme. This is just so bland and generic. This is like the epitome of I lost what I was gonna say, but it's incredibly generic. It's like, okay, it's like the off-brand Cheerios, but like not with Honey Nut. It's just regular bland off-brand Cheerio. That's what it is. That's what this game is. That's what it looks like anyway. Which is unfortunate because I do like. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's another game that pretty much did this exact thing, but like a decade ago, and had a nice 2D representation, and it was from a side view instead of this over-the-top kind of 3D perspective. And I really liked that game. I thought it was really interesting. You would send out units across the lanes, and they would meet up with the other units, just like this game does. And I think you would have special abilities, and it had the special looking graphics, and it all looked very nice. I think it was like early 20s themed, and I thought it was really nice. It was really cool. And then coming to this, it definitely leaves me wanting more. There's not a spacey theme. There's not like a special alternate history of the same kind of like military shooter. This is just the very core like 2002 America's Army looking ass. And it's not even. I do have it on low graphics, but even if you turn it all the way up, I doubt it looks even very good at all. Especially when you have the Tom Clancy name on it, you gotta be bringing a little bit more. But anyway. So I'm going to get off the graphical presentation. It's not great. Actually, the outside of this little gameplay mode, it's actually a lot better. It gets a lot better, I should say. It seems like this is like a small piece of a much larger game. But this should be the big piece. This should be the staying power. Because there's another part where you like build stuff, and it looks a lot better. So look how slow this goes. Surely this isn't just because of my PC, because it doesn't do that anywhere else except just here. I guess to emphasize that it's an airstrike, but I'm pretty sure planes don't go that slow. And then it gets real janky here a little bit, off and on. So I've never even explained the core concept, of this little thing. So you have your lanes and you send out your units. It costs command points, so you can use a command point to send out your tanks, but you only have a limited number of them, so you have to use them wisely. So you can also use your command points to use a special ability like focus fire or rapid fire, whatever. And you also have some preliminary defenses up here that you cannot interact with. And then you have a second set of defenses that you can only activate their special ability for a command point. And you also have airstrikes, as you can see there, except they don't actually come into the field as units. Instead, they're just like a god ability or whatever. So you have to be careful to make sure your units that you're sending out are countering the units at the other end of the lane. Because you have unlimited command points, but you don't have unlimited units to send out. So you have to use that aspect of it. So this is you saw just a second ago, the change in graphical presentation from hide off or whatever, or maybe it was load off. It didn't look that much better. I think there were some shadows which made it look a little bit less flat, but that's about it. Not entirely impressive. And moving around the map, like panning around the map, it doesn't look smooth or very good in general, really. And any effects that your units use aren't impressive at all. And look at that, 12 frames a second. Looking ass. I think I'd be a lot more interested in this game if they instead went for a nice, crisp looking 2D. Like, it doesn't even have to, if they are absolutely dead set on this military shooter, like, it's not even correct to say hyper realistic, which is not the case, but this early 2000s military look, they absolutely have to have it. They definitely keep it as long as it's a nice crisp looking 2D, not this chugging out barely a few frames a second. And it's not even that, it's just frustrating. It seems like such a simple game decision, but I guess it's not. And so that's the first mission. And the production quality admittedly is not bad. So like you see right here in this victory screen, right? You have nice portraits. They're nice and expressive. They actually don't look bland and whatever, bland and expressionless. So this is the second part of the game, I guess you could say. It's like a lot of games have some form of this kind of base building in addition to like a combat mode. So it's not entirely unique, but I do love this. I love how it all builds up from the ground like that. It's really cool. I love that. It looks really nice. It's got a nice. This section right here has a nice graphical representation. And this is where you go to buy new units. It's not anything that really matters all that much. I don't think any of these characters have any backstory or anything like that, except for this the character portrait. This little scene right here looks really cool too. I like that. This game definitely has its moments of where, like, wow, that's actually pretty good. But it is kind of rare. What else? So I think I'm going to be building some stuff up here in just a moment. I built my gunship zone so I can build gunships. And then it looks like you have, like, infantry. And I'm upgrading a building, my District of Columbia White House, into some kind of weird looking... it looks futuristic, but... But this isn't taking place in the future, I don't think. I completely forgot what the story mode was even going for. I guess that's me. That's the general. Let's go liberate America. That's such a great line. But, like, not at all. So you have single player, you have multiplayer. You also have lots of campaign modes, looks like. I have no doubt in my mind that they're all pretty much same thing. See, look, this looks really good. I like this look. That is a nice looking map select. I think they could have had like the ocean swirling, some clouds going overhead, but it still looks quite nice. And this all looks really good too. This is like something you'd see like in an actual mainline like Call of Duty game or something for mission select. So they hit some of these things really, really well, but then they hit other things like this actual in combat zone like awfully. Like what was that game called that did early 2000s, but kind of like a mix with a futuristic-y look, and it looked really nice, even if it was a little bit basic. What was it called? It was an indie game. It was like a sort of like pseudo RTS. I can't remember off the top of my head. Total War Korea or something? No, it's not Total War. I forget. It was a pretty good game, if I remember correctly. And it reminds me a lot of this game. So I've got my gunship now, and as you can see there, the left side has the anti-air on the enemy side. So I set my gunship on the other side, of course, and I set my tanks up there. And I think I staggered my gunship, was actually not a good idea. Didn't really think about how many anti-air people he was going to send up there to the top side. I figured it would be staggered, but I guess not. So I'm going to lose that gunship, I guess. But this is just kind of reinforcing that you need to watch what your enemy is placing and then react accordingly. So by this point I have 1 tank and 2 gunships left, but no airstrikes. That's strange. Maybe you have to wait until a certain time. And as you can see there on the left, I have my win condition. I can't lose a certain amount of units. And I destroy the enemy base. At the top you can see, I guess, how many units are left coming at you. I guess he doesn't use command points. I'm guessing. The Continental Army. It's pretty dumb. So it looks like my right side made it all the way to their base. So all I have to do is fend off this left side, and then I pretty much win. I've already got some good damage going on it. Admittedly, that first level looked pretty bad, but this one does look a lot better. And like I was saying, I really disliked it coming in. I thought it just could be another generic early 2000s looking military shooter RTS. But this is actually, it's more deep than you might actually expect. And it has a lot of different parts of this game that are kind of meshing well together. Even if it is underwhelming considering the Tom Clancy name. But maybe I'm giving Tom Clancy a bit too much credit. Because I know he's written... I know he had the heyday where he put out his books. And that's where he got the majority of his fame. But anyway, this is it.